Hello again, friends and family. Thank you so much for joining me today again on the Candid Homesteader. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the B word, and no, I don't mean the curse word. I'm talking about budgeting. So stay tuned. So let me first start off by saying that I wanted to make this video hopefully a little bit short, just some of my experiences with budgeting. When my daughter Maddie was born, my husband and I made the decision together that because I wanted to become a stay-at-home mom. So that did reduce our income, of course, because I was working full time. So we kind of had to figure out a budget plan for us to see how we could still live comfortably, have everything we need, maybe a few things we want, maybe a few frivolous things here and there, and still maintain a nice lifestyle and not need anything. So that being said, I'm just going to go over a few key points, things that we did to make that happen. So one of the first points of budgeting, I was always taught, at least in church, I haven't been to church in quite a long time, but I was always taught in church to do the 80-10-10 rule. So you're living off of 80% of your salary, you save 10%, and then you tithe 10% to the church. Now, again, I have not been to church in several years, so I don't tithe. For people like me that, don't go to church, you want to try to follow a rule if you can to do an 80-20. So if it's possible, live off of 80% of your income and then save the 20, or even if it's 90-10 or 95-5, you want to make sure, you're putting at least something aside just in case, something happens, you need a new roof. As my grandma always says, you want to make sure you want to have a little bit of money set inside in case of emergencies. So the blanket rule of budgeting is not living above your means. So for instance, if you need to go out and buy a new car, don't go out and purchase an Aston Martin when you only have a budget for a Ford Fiesta, which is what I currently drive. And, I love it. It's a nice little car. It's very fuel efficient. So that is basically a blanket rule of budgeting. Don't live above your means. If you're going to buy a house, see how much you can afford before you go out and buy a $500,000 house, and then you wind up not being able to afford the mortgage. That puts you in bankruptcy, and it's just not a very good thing. So that is a blanket rule of budgeting. I've also been getting a lot of questions from my friends about how I save so much money, either at the grocery store or buying essentials. I coupon a lot. I started couponing probably 5 or 6 years ago. I started off small. I wasn't expecting to be an extreme couponer like on that TV show, which I love, by the way. But I started off by clipping a few Sunday paper coupons. They have free coupons online at coupons.com, and I'll post the link down in the description box so you can print out at home. I actually have some right here. I bought a notebook the other day for $1, and then it had, $7 worth of coupons in it, which to me was awesome. I don't know if I'll actually use these coupons. I might just give them to somebody. But, I started off small, and then as I figured out a little bit more tricks of the trade for couponing, I was able to reduce my grocery bill by half or more. And a funny story about it is I used to do it, go to the store by myself before, I had my daughter. I was dating my husband at the time. We weren't married yet. So I would go alone, and coupon and bring home just tons and tons and tons of stuff. And one day I asked him for help because I had such a big shopping list. And he was actually a little bit embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie, he was a little bit embarrassed when we walked into the store and I pulled out my, I had basically a binder full of coupons. So he was a little bit embarrassed when I pulled that out, but after he saw our total drop from about, $120 down to $30 to $40, he wasn't really that embarrassed anymore. So clip coupons. Coupons are basically, they're money. They're free money. Another quick thing about coupons is just because I've been getting a lot of questions on how do you get stuff for pennies on the dollar or just pay tax on it. Look for deals in your area, coupons you can combine, special sales like buy one, get one free. Get not only manufacturer coupons, but store coupons. So for instance, if your local grocery store has a buy one, get one free on cereal, say it's $2 a box, and you have a manufacturer's coupon for $1 and a store coupon for $1 off, you can use both of those coupons and get both of those boxes of cereal for free, because you're technically still buying one, you're paying the tax on it. So that's just a quick point about couponing. I know there's a ton of videos about couponing out on YouTube, so I'm not going to go too much into that, but that's how I've been able to keep my grocery bill and my essential items bill pretty low. And I only go grocery shopping maybe once every week and a half to 2 weeks, just because I do grow a lot of my own produce out in my garden, which is my next point. Growing your own food source saves you a lot of money. I have fresh vegetables every day, so I never have to go out and buy anything at the supermarket unless it's something exotic that I can't grow or just don't want to grow. Of course, my chickens also provide me with fresh eggs every day, so I never have to worry about what am I going to eat for breakfast. Small things like making your own bread instead of going out to the store and spending $3 on a loaf of bread or even $1 on a loaf of bread. Places like Walmart do have really cheap prices, but if you get, a 5-pound bag of flour, you can turn that into, 10 loaves of bread, something like that, just depending on what you put in it. So, grow your own food, make your own bread. It's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. Another point on making your own, products or, food at home. Another thing I do is I make my own soap. I learned how to make cold processed soap, and I haven't had to buy a bar of soap in a little over 3 years. I make, lip balm. For, it probably cost me about 15 cents to make a tube of lip balm. They sell them, minimum price is, $1 at the Dollar Tree. You can go out and buy it, but why not make your own for, 15 cents? And then you can even make it the flavor you want too. Other ways of saving money, invest. I say invest. Go to the dollar store and invest in a little sewing kit. Say I frequently get holes in my shorts, I get snagged on the fence or something, or, just from roughhousing with the dogs. Get a sewing kit instead of going out and buying, another pair of $15 or $20 shorts, and just patch up the ones you already have, especially if you're only going to be using them for, around the house or working out in your garden. They don't have to be fancy. It just has to be so you're not exposing yourself, basically. I've done that with my socks. I've done that with my husband's pants, my shirts, anything. Your baby gets a hold of something, rips a hole in it, and, patch it up, and then it's just a lounge shirt. So, don't throw it away. And if you are thinking of throwing it away, cut it up and make it maybe into cleaning rags, repurpose it. Another great way to save you money is bartering. So if you do have a garden or homestead, or maybe you have some chickens like I do and you get more eggs than you can eat, barter. Go over to your friend's or your neighbor's house. Maybe they might have some tomatoes. Maybe you don't have tomatoes in your garden, and, trade some tomatoes for beans or tomatoes for eggs, something like that. I've also bartered for labor. That's another great way to save money. Labor for labor. Maybe you have a set of skills that somebody else doesn't have that they need. You can barter for skills. So, I've bartered with soap, I've bartered with chapstick, with lotion, with eggs, with produce. Pretty much anything I can have, I will, fairly trade, and I won't have to spend a dime. So that is another awesome way to save money as well. The last thing I wanted to talk about are needs versus wants. So we all want things in life that we don't actually need. I want that new shirt I just saw at the mall today. I, want a bigger TV, or I want a new cell phone. But these are things that we can live without. And yeah, it may be a little bit boring, but in the long run, it is going to save you money, especially if you're on a shoestring budget or living paycheck to paycheck. And, I know all about that. We're middle-class Americans. We live paycheck to paycheck. It's not easy sometimes. And there is a difference between being broke from paying your bills and being broke from buying frivolous things that you do not need. If you can try to convert some of the things that you need into the things that you want. For instance, I got asked one year what I wanted for my birthday, and I said, not jokingly, I said, a pack of Bounty paper towels, because that's something that I need, and it's also something that I want, because, I love paper towels. They're very handy. And whoever I said that to kind of looked at me and laughed. They were like, you don't want paper towels for your birthday. And I was like, yeah, I actually do. I do want paper towels. So if you can convert some of the things that you want into needs, it's gonna save you money. It's gonna make you feel a little bit better about yourself when you do get that. So I mean, I know it sounds kind of silly. Maybe it's just me getting older, but the things that I want are getting a little more simple, I guess you could say. So again, you guys, I just wanted to make this hopefully a slightly short video on just a general overview of how I do my budgeting at home. And I just wanted to go over a few key points that might be helpful for some of you guys. They were definitely helpful for me when I sat down and worked out a budget with my husband. And, we didn't, we're not needing or wanting for anything. And yes, we do have to make compromises sometimes, but, in the end, as long as, we are happy and healthy, we have food on the table, our daughter has, food and clothing on her back and everything that will keep her happy and healthy, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Who's gonna care if you have a 60-inch TV in your living room if, you're not eating nutritious meals, or you don't have clothing to go to work in, or you don't have, shoes without holes in them. So I just wanted to share some tips with you guys. If you guys have any questions, if you want me to elaborate on anything else about how I do my couponing, or kind of how I budget my money, just leave them down in the comments box and I'll try to answer them as best I can. But again, there's a lot of YouTube videos out on couponing. They're very useful. I've watched many of them myself until I kind of started getting the hang of things with couponing, and that's probably saved me the most money besides starting my little homestead here. So coupons, free money. If you don't want to spend $2 on a Sunday paper, go to coupons.com. Again, I will post that link down in the description box. Free coupons, it's like having free money. And, grow your own produce, barter, try not to spend too frivolously. If you have to, cut some of your cable channels just to save you $20 extra a month. If that's going to help you, go ahead and do it. You know what? So you have that $20 extra to, just have, not to, make you go broke. So I hope this video has helped at least one person. If it helps one person, at the end of the day, that makes me happy. So again, if you guys have any questions or comments, please don't forget to type them down below in the comments box. And don't forget to also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope to talk to you guys soon. You guys have a great day.